Hey people, I want to thank Wild Style Vlogs for sharing my movie. And she left a comment on my channel 5-6 days ago, so I went to her channel and I watched this, and it was all about stones. And she's an English girl, and so that tripped me out because that's just what I was reading. It was here in this first book of Ezekiel that I did a couple movies ago. And I'm going to finish this up. I was studying it more to get everything straight. But this is to them what? To them what? D-M-U-T. And as for the likeness, to them what? The high what? Marriages. M-A-M-R-A-J-E-S. Marriages. The cog. Lisa bore what? And so like coals of fire burning. And so this old god Moa and Lisa, they were a dual god, and Moa was the moon and night and cool, and Lisa associated with the sun, day, hot, fierce. And that's where they get that from, like the coals of fire burning. The cog of Lisa's bore what? If you bore into something. And so this is the cog of Mona and Lisa. The cog is a little gear that's used to turn a big gear. You might have a crank handle on it, and to keep somebody from using your machine, you would bring that little cog and crank handle with you so nobody could use your machine while you were gone. But that's the cog of Mona and Lisa, cranking on the big gear that turns the whole system. And so that's to them what? Like I said, this is where your word Democrat come from. It means the people. To the people what? What kind of people? As for the likeness, what kind of people? And each make what? Marriages, the cog. Each make what marriages. This probably should be here. The cog Lisa's, like the coals of fire, bore what? Camera. A camera is that dome in a church or in your Senate. It's a chamber or a round building. And, you see them in the Senate. An object with an arched cover. It's these churches that have this astrodome in them and have clues as to what's all this is about. Each make what marriages. Cog Lisa's, this backwards and forwards. The K-G-H, the cog, and H means to divide. It means, it's a removable cog. H divide. The cog of Lisa's, L-I-S-A-S, plural, or not plural, but Lisa's, apostrophe S, indicating ownership. The cog of Lisa's bore what? Camera. The Lapides. This final M, they say a final M is plural, and it's because it's not an M, it's an S. That's why it looks more like an S than an M. And so the Lapides are not torches. A Lapides is a stone, a millstone. It's stones. They only say it's torches in this Hebrew, but it's a third declension. And if you look up third declension of Latin, they'll say we having problems with this page. It's wrong because they've twisted the language. They twisted the Latin and the Greek just trying to hide these books. But we go down here and find this IDS here, plural, nominative or accusative, plural. The cog what Lisa's bore what? Camera. The stones, the Lapides, the stones, they power. E-T-H-E-Y. They, A is power. They power. The stones, they power. From Talkit. Not going back and forth, but from Talkit. You see, when when God asked Satan, he said, I've been going back and forth, it says metallic. But this is from talk it. Between. This is in the first chapter of Genesis when it says to separate between the night and day. This is between. And B is in, and then IN is in. So in, is put it in the bin or between. The stones, they power from talk it between the high, English women, WMN, women, what the English women so has. Yowza. Oh, yowza, that's something they say when a chick's really hot. Yowza. In roof. BRQ. In roof. The raphia is the firmament. In the roof. BRQ. In the roof. It's talking about the artwork in the roof. And the English women so has to make what's power. Yod, to make WTS, what's power in the roof. And so I was reading this just about the same time, and I went to her channel, and it tripped me out. And so of the covenant is the Brit, B-R-I-T, means in writ, as in legal paper, in writ, Brit. And so it often comes up after this sign this, S-N-I, the sign E-T-H-E-S, to sign this in writ. And made the two of them a covenant. Who court to sign this in writ? And they gone to court to sign it in writ. So the first time it comes up is in Genesis 2, the last line of Genesis 2, and were the two of them naked, the man and his wife, and not were they ashamed. And it says the wage to sign this, Oram his heads, was to will it bash you. It bash you. She's telling him, you're going to get me naked, you're going to sign this. I'm going to bash your head. Then when it comes up in Leviticus, these laws, and a man, if he lies with a male, as he lies with a woman, an abomination have committed, of the two of them surely shall be put to death. Here's the two over here, T-W-O, then V-E, like apostrophe V-E, the two of. The two of, as to sign this, moot, make 'em to, not to talk about it, is what it says. To sign this, mute, not to talk, make 'em to. Yod, make 'em to. And so that's not what it's talking about. They got the rest of this misinterpreted too. But it's talking about how the priests stay out of trouble, how you politicians stay out of trouble. As to sign this muty, to make mute, to make them what? Make them to. What this says is the ways raise, make shakin to, Rook's core, backwards and forwards, R-K-Z-K-R, the Rook's core. And the Rook's core, they're trying to get rid of that word, but a rook is the farthest outpost. The farthest outpost that a king would be trying to hold property at. And they would have the rook's core out there, holding that property. And you can see where, they're trying to get rid of the word, in which the sense remains uncertain. I forget where I read it at somewhere. And so they can't afford to lose people. So, if they're queering up out there in the rook's core from Suckovy, from Shackovy, this two of, T-W-O-V-E, the two of, as to sign this moot, make 'em to. And don't talk about it. We can't afford to lose men, but don't tell nobody, because the law says we're supposed to stone you. If you look at this, the ways, WAYS, and then backwards, RSA, raise, make shack of. So this one almost looks the same, but it's the ways, raise, and then it has a tack here, and that means to read the next word backwards or forwards. And so now it's the ways, raise, in cash, make shacking. That's a prostitute. The ways, raise, in cash, make shacking. To this as the do. You know, this is what she's doing for a living. To Gillette to. You know, her nakedness. To Gillette to. It where see root. It backwards and forwards. E-T, it. W-R, where. And the O is to see. I and to see. R-U-T-E, to see root, to get to the bottom of it. To Gillette, it where see root to. And so this Gillette, you know, they say it's uncovers. It's apocalypse in the Greek. In 2018, an apocalypse shall uncover her indecency. An apocalypse, and this is away, opposing, away, awake, call ups. Awake all ups. Time to wake up. Ways, raise, in cashy shacking to. This ass do. To Gillette to. It where see root. To shave it to the bottom, it backwards and forwards. E-T, it, W-R, where, and then I and to see, R-U-T-E, to see the root to. The rough from free, backwards forward, E-R-F. The rough from free, get the rough off of it. The rough from free whore, H-O-R-E. In cashy shacking. From the rough from free whore to they power. You know, Vav connected to E-Y. They power. Gillette. Gillette to. Rough from fur. Rough from fur. Damie when court to. Sign this from foreign homes. And so what it's saying, you know, is the ways raised in the cashy shacking. To this ass do. To Gillette. To shave it where see root. To the rough from free. To the rough from free whore. To they power shave. Gillette to. Gillette to rough muffer damn ye. When court to sign this from foreign homes. This is the sign that she's from a foreign home. She's not from here. These Italians, we don't shave a lot. And so I told him other movie, you know, this Gillette freaked me out. You know, my brother's daughter had died, and I was meditating a lot. It was 3 years ago, and she was on the way home for Thanksgiving and got in an accident. And I was meditating a lot at that time, so I went to bed meditating. I fell asleep, but before I woke up, it was the first time I seen a really clear face, just a big, huge face. And she was telling me, she says, you need to shave, Gillette. And I knew what she was telling me. She was telling me the ancient word for shave was Gillette. All right, I've been working on. I've been helping somebody out fixing an old rotten chimney, and I gotta get back early in the morning and get that before noon. And so when I finish that up, I'll have some time to come make some movies. I just want to touch on a couple of words here and thank Wild Style for posting my movie. Thank you much. All right, good day.